All right, today we're going to be solving one-step equations. Now, the reason these are one-step equations is that there's only one thing happening to x, right? Like here's x, like we're adding 5. Here's x, like we're subtracting 10. Here's x, we're multiplying by -6, right? So there's only one thing happening to x. We get to the point where we have equations where there's a lot of things happening to x, but for today we're just going to talk about one-step equations, okay? Now remember, when we're solving, what we're doing is we're finding the value of the variable that makes the equation true. Okay, so remember, like a true equation is like 5 equals 5. Okay, that's true. So I'm actually going to show you two different methods. I'm going to do the same equations using two different methods so that you can understand that this is not magic. It's just, there's an answer and we have a couple different options we can use to figure it out. So method number one, we've seen a little bit already, and it's just called intuition. You just kind of like look at it and you think, like what would make this work? Like what value of x would make this true? What number, right? Like what number plus 5 equals 8, right? We just want to know, like what number could I fill in that blank? And I think, oh, 5, how many more is 8? So I can use my fingers, right? 6, 7, 8, okay? And that would be 3. So I say, oh, okay, that means x must equal 3. Okay, so that's kind of what we've been doing so far. Now, here's the kind of like official algebra method that we learn in algebra class, and it's useful not because we can't figure this out, but because the method that we do here can actually then be expanded to 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. So it's a good one to know. All right, so here's what that method is. It's that we use inverse operations. Inverse means like the opposite or something that undoes something. So what we're going to do is whatever's being done to x, we're going to undo it. Okay, and then the goal is that x is by itself, right? So I have x equals, and there's nothing else on that side of the equal sign with the x, and then there's a number over here. Okay, now when we talk about inverse operations, it's the operation that undoes each operation. So like if I have addition, what undoes addition? Subtraction. Okay, if I have subtraction in an equation, what undoes subtraction? Addition. Okay, so you can see addition and subtraction are inverse operations. Now, multiplication, what undoes multiplication? Like if I do 5 times 3, I can undo that by doing, so I get 5 times 3, I get 15. I can undo that by doing 15 divided by 3 is 5, right? Because division undoes multiplication. And if I have division, then multiplication undoes that, right? So division and multiplication are also inverse operations. They undo each other. So what does that look like when I'm solving? I have x plus 5 equals 8. So notice, look, like I'm going to draw a line here on the equal sign. What I want is for this x to be by itself. So I have a plus 5. I'm going to do the opposite of plus 5, which is minus 5. And then look, if I do it on one side of the equation, then what I do is I also do it on the other side of the equation. So I have x equals 8 minus 5 is 3. And notice, right, the answer is the same. So there's only one correct answer, and that answer should be the same all the way through because it's just different methods to do the same thing. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, here I have x, I have a number, take away 10, it equals -2. So what number would I have to start with if when I take away 10, I get to -2? And like here, I kind of picture a number line. Okay, so look, I want to land at -2, right? And I want to take away 10 to get there. So I want to go 10 to the left in order to get there. So what I must do is like start like somewhere over here, right? Like let's say I start, and I'm gonna guess correctly here. Let's say I start here, look, and then I subtract 10, I go 10 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and I land at -2. So what number, if I take away 10, do I land at -2? That number is 8. Okay, so x equals 8 here. Okay, now, if I'm talking about inverse operations, look, here's my x. Okay, notice my x is on the right side of the equation this time. It really doesn't matter. My goal is to get x by itself. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of whatever's with x. Like here, I got rid of plus 5 by subtracting 5. Here, I have a minus 10, so I'm going to get rid of minus 10. How do I get rid of minus 10? I do the opposite of minus 10, which is plus 10. And whenever I do something here on the right side, I do something here on the left side as well. Okay, so I get x equals, and notice it's on the right side, right? Like I'm always doing math straight down. So I do this math straight down. It doesn't matter that the x is on the right. Now look, this is -2 plus 10. Okay, for some of you, this is like the math where you just, I don't know, you kind of just get stuck on it. So let me just show it to you on your calculator in case you need it, which is fine. Okay, so this is -2 plus 10. So I'm going to press this negative sign. Okay, that's -2, and then I have plus 10, and I get positive 8. Okay, and notice it's the same answer as on the other side, right? We know that's what it has to be. All right, let's keep going. Okay, this one, careful here. This says -6 times a number equals 30. So first I'm going to think about the signs. A negative times what is a positive? Look, we know what positive times positive is positive, negative times negative is positive, positive times negative is negative, and negative times positive is negative, okay? So look, same sign, if the signs are the same sign, that equals positive. Okay, different signs, that equals negative. So here, if I want this to multiply to equal positive, I need these to be the same sign. So this is going to be a negative times a negative, okay? And 6 times what is 30? 6 times 5 is 30, okay? So I just realized that this must be x equals negative 5, okay? Over here, this says x is being multiplied by negative 6. X is being multiplied by negative 6. So since I see multiplication, I'm going to divide, right? I'm doing inverse operations. So I'm going to divide by negative 6, divide by negative 6. X equals. So I'm doing 30 divided by negative 6. Now look, these rules apply to division as well. So this is a positive divided by a negative is a negative, and 30 divided by 6 is 5. And once again, in the calculator, if you need it, no problem. Okay, that's 30 divided by, look, negative, this button, negative 6. Okay, and I get my answer, negative 5. All right? Okay, let's take a look here. I have x right here. Okay, x, a number being divided by 4, some number divided by 4 equals 6. What number can I divide by 4 and equal 6? Let's see. Okay, like that would be 24, right? This is x equals 24. Okay, now, on the flip side, if I want to use the inverse operations, here's my x. I want x by itself. Right now, x is being divided by 4. So I'm going to do the opposite of dividing by 4. I'm going to multiply by 4 and multiply by 4. So this is 6 times 4. Again, feel free to use your calculator here, but this is 24 equals x, or x equals 24. Doesn't matter that it's in the opposite order. Okay, last one. This one trips people up sometimes. Okay, I want you to understand what this is saying. This negative x equals 8, this means that this is a negative 1 being multiplied by x, and that equals positive 8. Okay, so first of all, I want to think like what number times, okay, what number times negative 1 equals 8? So I'm going to first of all think about signs. So negative times what equals positive? Oh, negative times negative equals positive. Okay, and then 1 times what equals 8? Oh, 1 times 8 equals 8. So here, x equals negative 8. Okay, now notice had this like said negative 8 over here, right? Then x would have equaled positive 8. And you can just kind of see like the sign sort of switches. Okay, over here, what this would look like is, oh, this x is being multiplied by negative 1. So I'm going to divide by negative 1. Do it on both sides, of course. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, and 8 divided by 1 is 8. Okay, the magic word is pig. The magic word is pig, so make sure you type that in. And then you can use the back of this paper as scrap paper for the rest of the assignment.